All right, Chucky season 3, episode 4, Dressed to Kill. Are you familiar with the film Dressed to Kill by Brian De Palma?
I haven't seen it, but I know of it.
Okay. So, all right. This is it for this portion of the season. We have hit our mid-season finale. Boo.
I know,
Boo.
Boo is right.
If I was to have to guess, I think this show will come back in February or March. That seems about right. But let's hope I'm wrong and it's like in 2 weeks or something, but they won't do that. No, it'll be months, which is a shame. But it is what it is. All right. So let's do it. Once again, this show, especially this season, I feel like the kills and the gore are just top notch, insane, awesome.
Yes.
Some of the best kills I've seen ever in like recent memory, or period, in my entire life. I mean, I think this show has some of my favorite kills I've ever seen. They're fucking insane.
Yes.
And what I want from a slasher. Some people are like, ugh, blah, blah, blah. That's it. They don't even speak words. Fucking stupid. They're talking about like, oh, slashers don't have to have gore because of this and that and blah blah blah. Yeah, sure, some. But I want a lot of them to have it.
Yes.
I want them all to have it personally. And if I'm getting it, I want it like this. I want it hardcore, in your face, on screen, guts galore, freaking people being halved, faces melting, awesome shit.
Yes.
This is awesome.
It's really good.
And you get really one or more per episode.
Yeah, it's crazy. Very satisfying.
This one did not disappoint.
Not at all.
In the kills or in any way. So we get the little Secret Service. I don't think he's Secret Service, but he's whoever the hell this guy is. He's setting a trap for the killer. It does not work.
No.
It does not work.
He's a failure.
Kaylee was unfortunately spoiled on this, but Kaylee, if you guys don't know, is in love with the Phantom of the Opera. Like, I think she would run away with him over me.
Eric!
So how excited were you to see Chucky, Charles Lee Ray, the Lakeshore Strangler, in full Phantom of the Opera gear?
I was so excited. I didn't know that was the thing. You told me that was the thumbnail, I guess, on like
one of the behind, on like maybe the next episode, or like when we were on the Sci-Fi Channel, it was like one of the thumbnails down below for like maybe the making of season 3 or like next episode or whatever.
Yeah, I hadn't seen that, so I didn't know. And unfortunately, I saw some posts on Instagram that showed me before we watched the episode, so I was like, what?
It's not much of a reveal because it's like he's in it pretty much the second we see him.
Yeah, he's in it immediately, and he's in it like the whole time.
Yeah.
But I loved it. It was super cool to see him dressed as Phantom of the Opera, and yeah, I loved it.
And plus, I mean, it's not. Obviously, it has a few different things going on for it, right? Like we find out that Joseph dressed like the Phantom.
Yeah.
On like before his death.
Yeah.
In addition to that, Chucky also is like hiding in the walls and peering onto the crowd like the Phantom does.
Oh, sure. And the chandelier is also like the Phantom.
Does he undo a chandelier and kill people with it?
There's a chandelier drop.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. So yeah, it's got nods to the Phantom. And it also works story wise. Yeah. So I don't. It's not just a cute costume.
It's cool,
right?
It's so
and
cool.
Obviously, in addition to those other two things, the main thing is that it's hiding his age.
Yes.
Right, because he's getting older, and then it also hides his face for the reveal at the end that Chucky is old man Chucky now.
Yep. He's really old.
Which we expected. I don't know why he's aging so fast.
Yeah, it's like exponential aging.
Yeah, it was like all of a sudden, like he was aging and he noticed, and he's been aging for months, and now all of a sudden, overnight, he's aged like 100
I know,
years.
it's crazy.
I don't know why that
So
is.
intense.
So, I mean, that's just like TV logic. I don't have a reason
The
for that.
magic is just leaving him really quickly.
I guess if I was to say, if I had to come up with a reason, right? Because of course it's a show I love, and I'm always going to be there in its corner and defending it and being like, oh, here's a reason. So he commits the murders, right? He does way more than 6, and then he calls on Dumbella, and with Dumbella, he doesn't even acknowledge Chucky the other times, right? Like he kills people in the Amityville house. He tries to do the chant, and there's nothing. Like nothing happens, right?
Yeah.
No clouds, nothing. There is literally no reaction at all. This time, a cloud, clouds, a storm, everything came in, like we've seen in previous Chucky movies, Child's Play 1 and 2, and like we're used to that storm that moves in when he's practicing that ritual. This time we're like, oh, okay, it's coming in, and I think this is like Dembella like cursing him, like, no, I don't forgive you.
You
have not lifted the curse.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna make it even worse now. I'm gonna exponentially speed up the process.
Yeah.
Right. So I think the clouds moving in is like him,
exerting his power.
Like cursing him even worse.
Yeah, that's a good explanation for it. I think that works.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So there's your explanation if anyone's worried. I didn't even think of it. So I will say that there is a connection in here that I don't know how many people are making, but they are definitely taking a page out of Big Trouble in Little China. Right? Because David Lopan gets cursed by what's his fucking name? Doesn't matter. But he's cursed, and he has to appease him, with the girls with the green eyes, or he remains like super old and stuck in this body forever.
Yeah.
Right?
I didn't even think
and
of
he's
that,
trying to get his youth back by pleasing the god that he gets his powers from.
Oh, yeah. Right? I didn't even think about that, but you're right. Yeah. That is definitely...
Xing Dai, I think is his name. Yeah. But yeah, I was recognizing the similarities there because, Chucky ends up looking like David Lopan at the end of this. The little basket case on wheels, or the 8-foot roadblock. And okay, we get so we get like confirmation here that Henry is seeing Joseph full on walking around and talking. This isn't just like whispering in his ear and maybe making him think like, oh, maybe his soul's in him and I can kind of hear him, if I get close enough or whatever. Oh no. Chucky is walking around that room like a totally normal person.
Yes.
And Henry's just like, is not fazed by it at all. So he must have revealed himself like that to him way before this.
Oh, sure.
Which makes me go like, is Henry not like, dude, I saw, like, he's walking around my room. Like, he doesn't tell his parents, his secret.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess just, like, kid logic, maybe.
Or Chucky might have
told him something, like, you can't tell them, like, they wouldn't believe you, or they're not ready, or whatever.
But he does tell him that it is Joseph.
Yes, he does tell him that it's Joseph. And before this, too, because Henry's like, what happened to your voice? Like, Chucky was using his, like, ha, 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 like, his, like, doll voice instead. And now he's, like, actually talking in his normal voice.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's just young and was duped by Chucky, which is what he does. Chucky literally does this all the time, constantly. Sure. He always
That's what makes him so evil.
Yeah. And just, like, abuses them.
Absolutely.
And lies to them.
Yeah.
So, yeah. When he says, he's like, what does he say to Henry this episode? That was like, we both laughed at it. He was like, you're not like the brightest, but I love that for you. Or I love that about you.
Yeah.
He's so mean.
Yeah. We do. I mean, we didn't get the reference I wanted for sure, but we do get a kind of Easter egg reference to Britney Spears. I had mentioned I wanted her death acknowledged, but maybe that was in poor taste because of Britney Spears' clear mental issue right now.
Yeah.
But we have Jennifer Tilly coming to prison with a necklace that says, "It's Tiffany, bitch."
Yeah.
Right. Obviously, really in reference to Britney's "It's Britney, bitch." So I thought that was cute when I saw that. I was like, okay, that's kind of an acknowledgement of Britney Spears. I don't know if it was trying to acknowledge what I was referring to or not, but it might be as close as we get. It might be as close as we get.
I think it was a really cute reference.
One thing I cannot even for 1 second defend in any way, shape, or form. This is just pure TV logic. There will be no defense on this at all because this is not how it works in the slightest. Tiffany is put on death row and is given 3 weeks to live.
Oh yeah, even in Texas.
You don't care where you're at.
Like any state that you have like the death penalty, it doesn't take 3 weeks. It takes a long time.
Vigilante justice doesn't even move that fast.
Yeah.
Like 3 weeks is crazy, dude. Most people spend at least 10 years on death row. It is a long and difficult process.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
When they said 3 weeks, I was like, guys,
it's just a TV thing.
Who are you bullshitting here? No one is put to death in 3 weeks.
No.
She would have the right to appeal. There's no way. 3 weeks is crazy.
Yeah.
I'd have to look it up though. Like, why don't you look up the fastest death row execution in the United States? I wonder. There's no way it's 3 weeks though. Anyway, because like Manson was given the death penalty, right? Like when he was convicted, and he was never killed. He died in prison of whatever the hell he died from, natural causes or whatever the hell happened. But he lived like 100 freaking years in prison.
Supposedly.
Who spent the shortest time on death row? Right there. Oh,
I know. I saw that, but
it doesn't give you the answer.
It does. Well, it says that. I don't know if this is a list. This might be a list.
Okay, look through it. It's cool that when Jennifer Tilly or Tiffany or whoever the hell Jennifer Tiffany meets her idol, who's supposed to be like Martha Stewart or something, she's watching The Bride of Frankenstein.
Yeah, I liked that.
Right? Which is what Tiffany is watching when she's electrocuted, and is a nod to the title of, Bride of Chucky.
Yeah. So this is, according to this article, Joe Gonzalez spent just 252 days on death row.
But that's almost Texas. A year.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the shortest in the history of the country.
Yeah, Joe Gonzalez.
So that's a year.
Yeah.
That at the very shortest of all time, a year.
A year.
Which is shorter than I was expecting, but it ain't 3 weeks.
No.
Right?
But
maybe Tiffany she was moved around for a while before. Maybe they were like time served. During her trial.
Maybe. No, I was just going to say Tiffany doesn't plan to stay on death row for 3 weeks.
No, of course not, but there's no way 3 weeks. Anyways, moving on from that. So the chick who plays that girl, the only reason I know her is, even though I've never even seen these freaking movies, is she's the main chick from My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Oh. I was wondering, I mean, she's clearly a comedian or a comedic actor, but
she wrote those movies, if I remember
she was great.
Correctly.
She was really, I loved everything with her in this. Like, from the moment that Tiffany, or Jennifer Tilly, or whatever we're calling her, what did we make up? What come
Jennifer Tiffany?
Jennifer Tiffany?
No.
Tiffany Valentine. Anyway, when she meets her, from the moment that she meets her, and then she's telling her I'm a murderess and I've used your organizational skills and all that, and she's all excited, and then she's like, yeah, I killed my sister, and she when she her reaction to that was so funny. But yeah, like everything, like when Jennifer is using the voodoo doll on her, um,
oh man,
fantastic.
Brutal.
Like there was so much brutality in that. When she takes the freaking peeler to her finger, I could not.
Going sideways
I could not watch that. That was awful. That was so intense. And yeah, I loved it. I mean, it was great. The cop like standing there, or the guard or whatever. That yeah, was just like, her. Put it down. I'm gonna shoot you. And she's like slicing her arms up and everything.
I think she's just in shock.
Yeah,
she's like, "What the hell is this chick doing?"
Well, yeah, and like one of the other inmates is like, "It's not that bad in here," like, which is really funny.
She boils her face.
Oh my god!
And then it just like oozes and falls off.
Crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, I will say. That being said, that was awesome, but the girl standing up after the freaking chandelier had fallen on her and her face slid off.
That was wild.
That didn't look very good.
No, it didn't look good, but it was wild to like.
It was wild, but it looked really bad CG.
Yeah, it was really bad CG. I don't really know why, but the face boiling looked fantastic, yes. And everything else that she was doing, like her fingers and stuff, looked great. And I mean, I love Jennifer Tilly, and she's wonderful in Chucky. Like every time she's on screen, she plays the part so well at this point. Like she has it down. She's got the like bimbo murderer, like I don't know. She's just got this great vibe, and I love that they always dress her up. She's always wearing like stilettos and like fishnets and tight like red dresses and stuff. Which is also like they wouldn't let you into death row in that. Like what? No. But it's great, and like she's like her with the voodoo dolls is so funny. Yeah. The way she says Dumbala, I know you love that. Oh my god,
she drives me nuts with that.
But yeah, I mean she's controlling the guard now that was like being awful to her, so she's getting out.
She's like, you have 3 weeks to get me a personal possession of every guard in the joint. I'm like, I feel like she could do that way faster than 3 weeks. I don't know why she needs 3 full weeks. But we now have some arbitrary time restraint that's like, we're going to die, and they had to move it up exponentially. And of course, she's not going to stay in there for years, right? They're going to do it quick. Okay, our core 3 show up to this party dressed in good guys costumes.
Yeah, they're all dressed as Chucky.
We've got freaking Devin looks like a child. Costume. I mean, I know they're young. So funny. Right? Like Lacey? What? Lexi. Why did I call her Lacey? Lexi is like, I don't know. I don't know how old they all are. Like, I know Lexi's 16. Yeah. I don't know how old the other 2 are. But Lexi and Jake look older.
Yes.
And Devin in that outfit looked considerably younger. Yeah, he looked like he was 13 years old in that thing.
Lexi and Jake both are like in these like sexy outfits. Yeah. Like Jake's in a freaking like, he's like in a YMCA freaking get up. He's so buff this season. It's crazy. Like every time I'm on screen, I feel like his outfits are just every time he's on screen. What did I say? I'm on screen. Yeah, I
was like, huh?
I'm tired. Every time he's on screen, I feel like his outfits are just to show off his muscles. But
I got 3 hours of sleep last night and worked for like 13 hours.
Yeah. But Devin's outfit was adorable. I love it, and I don't know. I just love their dynamic. I love that Jake's like all big and strong, and Devin's like kind of like smaller. He's the twink, and like, yeah, I don't know.
He's a little twink. Is that
really cute together?
Is that like a socially accepted term now, or is that like taboo to say now? Twinks. I don't know. I don't
twink
know. Is that a bad
thing? I don't know how gay what the gay community likes to label, but I just like. I think they're a cute couple, is all. But yeah, I loved all their outfits.
So we got this guy who's like a clown jester kind of thing comes on the screen, and literally like the first second he was on screen, I was like, I bet you that's Pretzel Jack from season 4 of Channel Zero, The Dream Door. I was like 100. Like I knew it immediately because Nick Anacosta is a producer and I think writer on this show as well. Just there's something about the way he moved and his face, and I was like, that's Pretzel Jack.
Yeah.
That's Pretzel Jack. And I looked it up, and sure as shit as it was.
It was cool.
So
really cool
I called that instantaneously just because he had the vibe of Pretzel Jack, even though I called him Cactus Jack the second he came on the screen.
Cactus Jack, and you're like, is that Cactus Jack? I'm like, I don't know who that is.
That is Mick Foley's, one of his personalities during the WWF run. He had Mankind, he had Cactus Jack. You don't know anything about the WWF.
Nothing.
It's okay. That's okay. I don't watch the WWF anymore, but I did a lot when I was like a teenager. I think it's a soap opera for teenagers.
Yeah.
But older dudes are into it too, which is fine. I've not met many women who are into the World Wrestling Federation or whatever the hell it's called now. Worldwide Wrestling, I think is what it's called now. They've changed it a few times. Okay, and we've got Kaylee pointed something out here, and I was like, oh man, that would have been such a great deep cut reference. So who should Devon Sawa have been for his costume?
Oh my god, he should have been freaking Casper. He should have been Casper because this is crazy. I recently, as in like
yesterday, 2 days ago.
2 days ago, I had no idea that Devon Sawa was Casper. Was human Casper. I had no idea. And like every girl, everyone, not even just girls, literally everyone in the 90s, like growing up watching Casper, when you see the reveal of human Casper at the end, you're just like in love. You're like, that's the love of my life. Like, I don't care. He's so cute in that, especially for like that age range. Like, and just the way he looks at her and everything.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So perfect. I had no idea that was him.
Yeah.
And now, like, my whole, like, it literally is, like, my life before I knew that and my life after finding out that Devon Sawa is Casper.
That's how you're going to, like...
That's the eras.
It's like AD and BC for Kaylee.
It was crazy. I don't know how I didn't know that, but he should have dressed as that. That would have been so cute.
Before Casper and after Devon Sawa.
Yeah. It would have been so cute. Now, of course, that I know, I can totally see it. But for a moment, I couldn't. For a moment, I was like staring at pictures of him as an adult, and I was like, "What?
Like, no.
What?" I was like, "That's him. That's what he grew up to look like."
Yeah.
Anyway.
We get a nod to "Don't Fear the Reaper" in here.
Always.
Of course, because it is set on Halloween night.
Yeah.
And that song is forever linked to "Don't Fear the Reaper." Although, honestly, I have to say, the majority of the time when I hear that song, I actually think of the Stoned Age. But I do think of Halloween as well. But that is a heavily featured movie in one of the greatest and overlooked comedies of the 90s. Phenomenal. I love it so much. I love it. I love it. I love it. Anyways, moving on from that. But Lexi mentions that this is her favorite song, which her listening to a song about not fearing death when she's facing death all the time.
Yeah.
Right? I think is a cool little nod. Now, what Lexi's listening to pre-Chucky, I'm not getting Blue Oyster Cult vibes.
No, not really, but I don't know.
Yeah. But
It's
maybe.
fine. Yeah.
Maybe. Was she like into rock and roll?
I think, well, maybe she was, she did say that this was her and her dad's like favorite band.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think that is influencing her, and like she probably listened to music with him, and you know, so it works.
Yeah. We did get confirmation because we had asked last time, not only from the comments, but from this episode itself, that Joseph's death was about a year ago. We got Voodoo Dolls back. We had mentioned that, right, with them, but I didn't point out the fact that, like, the first movie has a really cool Voodoo Doll scene where Chucky takes his mentor guy's Voodoo Doll and, like, breaks his legs and his arms as he's standing there and then stabs him. So it was great to see Voodoo Dolls back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even though they're completely different than the Voodoo Doll we saw in Child's Play,
Yeah.
it was still cool to see them. And they don't have to look the same.
Well, because it's like voodoo, like the main thing you think of is voodoo dolls.
Do you think that a chick on death row would be given voodoo dolls?
I mean,
they would go through her.
In this universe, I don't know. Because, like, in this universe, voodoo is real. Like, there's witch doctors and stuff. So
yeah, but do people know about that?
I don't know. But if they did, they'd be like, we're not going to give you voodoo dolls.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, maybe it's a religious item.
Yeah.
Right? I feel like I don't know anything about death row, so this is me just speculating. But I feel like they're probably required to like provide you with religious material. But I would think that religious material would mean like books and stuff, but I don't know. Maybe they're supposed to provide you with like supplies so you can like do prayers and rituals or whatever.
My religion makes me provide. You need to provide me with a hacksaw.
My religion.
And you can't look. And you can't look at me.
Be put on death row.
Yeah.
You can't look at me with my hacksaw.
Yeah. You can't watch me.
Turn away.
It's part of my religion, man. So a question. I didn't really get this as much. So the new chick that they hire on to be like the babysitter, this chick's seeing ghosts?
Yeah.
Like what? Did they not screen this chick before they put him with the president's kid?
She's like really eccentric and like she was like an ex-theater major, she says, and I don't know, she's just like a little cute weirdo. I don't know why they would. I mean, why? What would they ask her? Like, do you see ghosts? Like, are you someone who believes in ghosts?
But she's acting weird from moment one.
She's acting like goofy.
Yeah.
And silly, not like crazy, creepy, weird. She's just kind of like, I'm Mary Poppins.
I don't know. I don't see someone introducing themselves to the president and the first lady. Like, that's just not happening. I would think they would be like, who is this person? And why have you stuck them with my kid? Why is like the Secret Service agents not watching him?
I don't know.
Especially when people are being
murdered. They're all like on the roof, in corners.
Because there's like no one watching the kid.
Nobody watching
and
him,
it's like they're trying to
babysitter.
lure a murderer into the house.
That's kind of silly. Kind of silly. Kind of dumb.
It's a silly show. So yeah, I mean, and then he kills a ton of people. He doesn't work. Lexi has her moment with the kid. He sees her as using him and runs off. So she's been been caught. Had means she's been like tricked. Not had. Had was the wrong word.
She's been caught.
She's been caught red-handed.
Yes.
Discovered. So that's about it. I mean,
Chucky, old Chucky.
Old Chucky, we talked about.
Yeah, he looks old.
He looks old.
He looks old.
They did a good job. The puppeteering in this show remains to be a phenomenal.
Yeah.
And how's Chucky gonna break the curse?
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
He's gonna have to kill the president.
Probably. Or he's gonna try and body swap.
I think he's gonna kill the president.
But he can't body swap.
I think that's gonna be like a big enough thing.
I don't know why I said that. He literally can't.
No, he can't.
Yeah, you're right. He's gonna have to kill the president.
It's gonna have to be something hardcore, and it's like Dimbella. Like, if I kill the president of the United States, will that be enough?
Yeah.
Yeah. And his kid and his whole family.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I mean, I don't know. Like, Chucky's gonna get older and older.
Tiffany will come to help him.
And he's gonna be like, that in the next episode they're gonna really play around with geriatric.
Oh my
Chucky.
Gosh, yeah.
His hip's gonna be hurting.
Wheelchair.
Right. Back's gonna be hurting. He's not gonna be able to like move as well. When he gets knocked over, he's gonna like have a hard time getting up, and he's like, "Fuck this."
100.
Right.
I can't wait.
So that'll be fun, but
yeah,
we're gonna have to wait a while.
Yeah.
So,
a couple months, hopefully.
Hopefully. So what did you guys think of the first half of Chucky season 3? Was it a glowing success, or was it a massive disappointment? What about you?
It was a glowing success.
Me
Absolutely.
Too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I look forward to seeing, Tiffany just gets the stuff and she gets out. I don't think there's going to be much to that.
We're just going to see some shenanigans, probably.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Will we see Glenn again? The Gigi?
Maybe, because Nika
talks to
them, yeah.
Will we see Andy again? Yes.
Yes.
Because he was brought back for a dream sequence.
He'll be back.
But maybe the dream sequence is just Chucky's dream sequence, right? Because he got a send-off.
That's true.
With Kyle.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like a goodbye, but then they brought him back for a cheap dream sequence with one violent-ass kill. So, I don't know. Well, we shall see. We shall. All right, guys. Until next time. Could be months. I don't know.
Next year.
Damn. Yeah. All right. Well, we got plenty of other things to talk about.
Bye.